1410 AM, the voice of the Valley.
Welcome back to another Sports Saturday morning here on AM 1410 WRMN. You're listening to On the Rise. Myself, Mike Napolitano, joined here by Nick Johnston. And Nick, I think we should have Brandon Combs back today.
I think so.
So that should be exciting. He's got some news to share with everyone. He is trying to join the Zoom, but he's having some technical difficulties. So
Gotcha. It's up, so if he wants to, whenever he wants to join in, he can go ahead and do so.
Shoot that info over to him. I think he's saying the link is invalid, but
Sure thing.
the link is valid. We are live and we're ready to go. And ladies and gentlemen, it has been a week in Chicago sports. In fact, it may still be preseason, but within a matter of a week, you got the treat of having two Bears games. One last Sunday at home, last night on the road at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. But listen, this Bears team has looked good. We always say that they win the preseason, they go undefeated, and then it all crumbles during the regular season. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a little naive here. This year, it feels a little different. This year, it feels like they're going to be carrying a lot of this into the regular season. Maybe some of that is Ben Johnson at the helm. Maybe some of that is the fact that this team looks a lot better than it did in previous years on paper, and it's actually translating onto the field. But I don't know, Nick. I feel like we have a little bit of a bit of a Bears awakening on our hands.
Yeah, it was a little bit different last night, and also on last Saturday against the Bills, that 38-0 win right there. I was kind of watching the condensed game just now a little bit, kind of just to refresh my memory. But yeah, a little rough if we're talking immediately on the Bears on the Chiefs side of things. That first game, here we go. There's Brandon that should be in right now. Got you, Brandon? There we go. Now we got Brando.
There we go.
All right, now he's gonna get all set. Now he could get all set on his end. So yeah, I think you are onto something where it's a little bit different. A little bit of different taste. Like I said, maybe, again, I hate using this word. It's a buzzword. I feel like it's just everyone just kind of like it's their fallback and go-to. But the culture seems to be growing and actually producing something to some extent. So I like it. I like what it's kind of starting to pull up. So, yeah.
Yeah, so this Bears team, of course, a dominant win at home last Sunday against the Bills. Yes, it's preseason, but nonetheless, 38-0, and I think the biggest takeaway from this game, for me anyways, was the fact that it was 38-0 in a preseason game, and Ben Johnson, he didn't take his foot off the gas. I mean, you didn't see him starting to sit some of his starters.
That was the best part.
And by starters, I mean starters in that game. I don't necessarily mean starters for the season, but he didn't sit them. He gave them their time. He said, keep pushing, keep going. I mean, they could have taking a nap, and I don't think the Bills would have come back in that game, which is surprising to say considering it's the Bills. Yes, preseason, but even second stringers on that Bills team are very talented. So, it was just that never give up attitude from Ben Johnson. The, hey, we're not done here. Hey, we still need to work. Hey, this is just preseason. This isn't anything yet. And I mean, if the Bears take that mentality into the season with their starters, I think we're destined to have probably a pretty good season here going forward. So we shall see. We're getting Brandon Combs on the line here in just a moment here. He's all set up on his Zoom side of things. Are we able to see him?
I'm working. I can't see the angle. There isn't that option where it's all three of us. I think the source changed. But yeah, Brandon's good to go.
Brandon, how are you?
I'm good, boys. I'm good. I'm happy to be back, even for the short run. I listen to you guys talking about the Bears there, man. It's I like what I'm seeing, with the exception of, we talked about it. I texted the group last night. Left tackle is still going to be a problem. They still don't have a left tackle on this football team, which is the most important part of your offensive line. So I'm not excited about that. They do need to find some sort of mainstay there. I don't know who's going to emerge as that. I know they're even going through Theo Benedette, who was in the Canadian Football League last year. So I I want to see some semblance there, but I do like what I'm seeing. I like the fact that Caleb's looking good. 73% completion percentage last night, which is 70% is their goal. He looked decent. They had him play the whole first half. You could tell Ben Johnson wasn't happy with the production from the offense as a whole in the first half. So I like the fact that you could see that he was like, you know what, we're gonna keep going because we're not doing what I want to do right now. So he kept them out there for longer than I think even he wanted to, longer than anybody really expected him to. I know I talked to Dan Wiederer. He said that he had only expected the starters to be out there for one series, and they were out there for the entire first half. So that goes to show you how Ben Johnson felt about this team. And you look at what they're doing as a whole, and I like what I'm seeing. I like the way that Tyson Bagent runs this offense as well. So if Caleb does go down, if for whatever reason you have an injury, God forbid, you feel comfortable for 2 or 3 weeks with Tyson Bagent under center.
Yeah, Tyson Bagent got some time in that game against the Bills, as you were saying. 13 for 22, 1 touchdown, 196 yards from Bagent. But I think what stole the show for me was a guy we saw in the Hard Knocks program last year, but unfortunately his season got cut short before it could even start. Ian Wheeler found the end zone twice, 80 rushing yards. So a good option for running back if either Swift goes down or something like that. A little bit of a depth piece. Not sure if he's going to stack up against an actual starting roster. Of course, this was a lot of Bills second stringers. We didn't even see Josh Allen in this game. 55 passing yards from Mitchell Trubisky. A lot of Chicagoans will remember that name. He went 7 for 13. Not the best showing, of course, as the Bills put up a goose egg. But it was good to see the Bears dominate at home, preseason or not. I liked what I saw. But as you mentioned, left tackle, I think, as we go into last night's game a little bit, and even last week's, I say last week's as if it was a whole week ago, but they played 2 games in 6 days. I think you saw a little bit of that issue last week as well. And a lot of people going into the draft were saying that the Bears were going to be looking, especially with that first round pick, they were looking at an offensive line position. And I feel like it just never got filled, Brandon.
Well, it's because the guys that they were searching for actually ended up going before they even got the pick. What really hurt them was Jacksonville deciding to move up to 2 from 4 to go ahead and take oh God, I'm gonna forget his name now. The kid out of Buffalo, 2-way player. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. So when Jacksonville traded up with them, Jacksonville was actually the Bears' trade partner to trade up to go get the left tackle. And when they couldn't do that, that's when kind of the chips kind of fell where they were, and everybody knew the Bears were going to take a left tackle. So the other teams that also needed one decided, hey, we're going to take one before the Bears can get there. And so it was one of those things where the dominoes just kept falling, and that's where the Bears were like, all right, well, you know what? If we can't get our lineman, we're going to go with the tight end. And it's unfortunate, but you still have 3 guys that you have on this roster that were put there to be your left tackle, and none of them are emerging, so much to the fact that Theo Benedict has stepped in as a candidate to be on this football team. And for me, I think that says a lot about Braxton Jones. I think that says a lot about, who's the other guy that they, I can't think, Kieran Amagaji.
Yeah.
That they drafted last year. You're bringing in these players and you're expecting them to perform, and I don't understand for the life of me, because I think that for the most part, and I still think that he should have been fired, but for the most part, Ryan Poles has done a decent enough job at trades and at picking players. For a guy who was an offensive lineman, I don't understand why he has so much trouble putting together an offensive line. That's what troubles me.
Yeah, it's almost the complete opposite. You can find DBs nice and easy.
Yeah, exactly. And you're finding, you look at the guys on the roster that he's put together. Tremaine Edmonds was a great trade.
Yeah.
That was a great pull. You know, the TJ Edwards signing was a great signing. Tyreek Stevenson, you look Kyler Gordon, the Montez Sweat deal. You look at those things on the defensive side, and you're like, wow, he's done a great job. But then you look at the offensive side of the ball, which is supposed to be his forte, and you're like, man, you've done some things here, huh? I mean, Braxton Jones, you did draft Ozzie Trapillo, but I didn't see much from him last night either. Watching him in the second half of last night's game, he was getting bullied all over the field. There were three straight plays where they tried to run the ball, and as soon as the running back's getting the ball handed to him, Ozzie Trapillo has already been beaten. His man is already tackling the running back as the handoff is happening. So a lot to unpack there. Joshua Miles is another guy that they think might emerge, but I mean, God, you really need Braxton Jones to figure it out, or Ozzie Trapillo to step up and have him figure it out, because you went out and got Joe Tooney, so that should help your left tackle just a little bit, because you got an All-Pro left guard sitting right next to you, and it just doesn't seem to be happening, and that's going to be a problem for Caleb Williams' development if you're going to be getting hit on your blind side a lot. It just affects a quarterback's development. Which is why in NFL circles I've been talking about the Jackson Dart thing with the New York Giants. It's kind of similar to that. Where do you unpack a Jackson Dart when you don't have an offensive line and you've got such a brutal schedule? The Bears are playing some really good defenses. And if they know that they can attack you from your blind side, guess what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen against Minnesota? With Brian Flores, he is going to blitz the hell out of that left side. And if Braxton Jones can't do anything, I mean, it's going to be a long night for Caleb Williams week 1.
Yeah. The other big takeaway for me on the defensive side for sure in this most recent preseason game was Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes just had way too clean of a pocket the entire time. Way too clean of a pocket in that first quarter, first half, however you want to look at it. That first offense versus that first defense. He was just able to line it up, sling some pretty far long passes, and able to connect. So not the best, if you're really putting it into perspective, if you're looking at first defenses versus first offenses and all that. Yeah. On pace, it would have been, 40-20 loss last night. But, that is preseason for what it's worth. But like I said, just that was my biggest takeaway for at least from yesterday. The big walk-off preseason touchdown for Bajan. Yeah, that's cool. It's against a bunch of, guys that, like you mentioned in our text chain, like guys that aren't going to be on the team anytime soon. The guys that are going to be at, Ward Auto Body Shop. And then we all need people that can change oil. So I'm not trying to downplay that, but
he still looks good though. He still looks comfortable.
Yes, that's exactly right. Another big takeaway for sure is just the comfort level is off the charts this time for Caleb and for Tyson on that same level. Just everyone looks very comfortable. Like this system has been a nice smooth transition from one to the other. It's been really cool to see that. Where again, we've seen the talent from Caleb Williams. He has the arm talent. He's got a cannon. It just needs to be more accurate, more precise, more just be able to find the player that he needs to be at that time. So it's been a mixture of both where his talent's got him by. You've seen a little bit of glimpses of last year where he got sacked. Could it have been his fault? Could it have been the offensive lines? A little bit of both for sure. Again, just the confidence level is off the chart, and you really like that from the team right now. I think that would be the biggest takeaway.
I think Bears fans also have to realize it's Dennis Allen's defense. Right? Dennis Allen is known for his bend but don't break defenses. I mean, you saw it all the time in New Orleans where they would give you the first half of the field, and then after that, once you got near the 30 or the 20, that's when they put the brakes on, and you kick a lot of field goals against Dennis Allen's defense. That's going to be a frustrating part for Bears fans, because when you're playing against teams like the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals, it's going to be hard to bend but not break, right? When you've got an accurate passer like Joe Burrow, and when you've got a guy like Lamar Jackson, and then you have to worry if he's running left while King Henry's running right, it becomes a little bit harder to not break. So it's going to be interesting to see the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of this team as it goes, and it's going to be the fun to see the ebbs and flows of the fan base as this season goes as well. Because I think a lot of people are up. Like I work with Ryan Horvat, who is, I mean, he's a crazy better. He's got money on the Bears to win the Super Bowl this year. He's a Packers fan. So
Whoa.
yeah, so I can't get there. I got them at 9-8. I do got them fighting for a wild card team, but I think 9-8 is their ceiling. I tweeted out yesterday, 9-8 is their ceiling, 8-9 is their floor. I just think that that's what the Bears are this year, especially with that schedule. And if they're better than that, great. And if they're worse than that, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I hope they do break through that glass ceiling and sneak in a few more wins. But like you said, it is going to be tough. What I did take away from last night's game is, second stringers or not, this Bears team could have laid down, and I mean second stringers on both Kansas City's side and the Bears side. This Bears team could have laid down when it was 17-0 after Rashee Rice finds the end zone at the start of the second quarter. Instead, they climb back, and as you mentioned, Nick, a kind of a buzzer beater with 2-minute warning, and next thing you know, the Bears are marching down the field with Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent has a better night than Patrick Mahomes, despite, like you said, Patrick Mahomes having time in the pocket. Yes, maybe Patrick Mahomes isn't throwing to his usual weapons. Yes, maybe Tyson Bagent isn't either, but the comfortability aspect that Brandon was talking about, and he goes 20 for 28 with 3 touchdowns and 212 yards against this Chiefs team that, second stringers or not, did go to the Super Bowl last year. So you know that this team is a much better team and has the depth. So you're still playing against some guys that, are probably going to find their way onto that Chiefs roster, especially the guy in the pocket adjacent from you on the other side of things, Patrick Mahomes, who went 8 for 13 with only 1 touchdown. So this Bears team could have laid down and died, and in previous years, I think they would have. But once again, you like to see the fight. They didn't lay down and quit when they were up 38-0 against this Bills team in preseason. They didn't lay down and quit when they were down 17-0 against this Kansas City team. In fact, they chipped away and they worked back at it. And next thing you know, it's touchdown Bears in the fourth quarter. 3 touchdowns. Royce Freeman, Joel Wilson, and Ja'Day Walker. I mean, Tyson Bagent, like you said, looks comfortable. They did miss a 2-point pass conversion, so maybe there's a couple things that need to be ironed out when it comes to dire moments like that, where you're trying to stretch it rather than just get that Cairo Santos extra point. But then again, he had one blocked as well. So
yeah, that was also another issue. That was a big timing issue. That was like the first thing I saw.
Still some things that need to be
the commentary
fixed.
team had made mention of that too. It's just like, that was an issue last year, which I'm just like, it's not good. That's just clearly just a slow snap and just a slow reaction from Santos. So you got to be much quicker, quicker.
You don't want to be playing the Packers again and have another blocked field goal to end the game.
They said it was a trend on shorter yardage field goals or extra points for him. So I guess 50-yard plus, he's in the clear. But
kick from your own end zone. And
anything from the 30 is going to be a little bit in the yellow zone, I suppose.
And that's one thing that I think fans too, like, I don't worry about wins and losses in the preseason. The Bears could have lost that game, 31-24, and I would have zero worries about that. I worry about how players are playing. The one thing I will say is that Tyson Bagent was able to do this, and this is the final preseason game. So you have players on the other side defensively who are playing for their NFL careers. These are guys who are trying to make the roster. These are the guys that they are in the game because the coaching staff still needs to take a look at them to decide whether or not they're going to make the 53-man roster. So you are playing against guys who are trying to beat you. So it's not like you're yes, it's not the starters, but you are still playing against guys that try to beat you. I know it's the fourth quarter of the final preseason game, but these guys aren't laying down. Same thing on the side for the Bears. Like you've got still some players. The Bears are still looking at their 53-man roster. Yes, Tyson Bagent is most definitely a part of it, but the rest of the guys, the offensive linemen, the running backs, the tight ends that are playing at that time in the fourth quarter, are because the coaching staff needs to take a look to decide on this 53-man roster, which is going to be a tough decision for them. So I will say that part about it. It was good to see those guys. I'm glad that they were able to pull it out. It's always good for morale when you win versus when you lose, even if it is preseason. But the way that they played down that stretch, for me, said a lot.
Oh, yeah. Talk about Bagent earning his 2-year, $10 million extension right there on that.
What a class act, dude.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
That kid is fantastic. How could you not root for this kid? I know, and I'm not talking about root for him like some of these jamokes that are out there talking about, he needs to be the starter over Caleb Williams. No, I'm talking about rooting for a kid who was a Division III football player who came from nothing, who is now making, $10 million over the next 2 years, who grinds his absolute face off, as he says, and is now making something out of what he wants to do and enjoying life and doing it well. At his craft, he is one. To me, he's a top 5 to 10 backup in the league. I know they came out with some list ranking all the backups, and he was 28, which I think is preposterous.
Yeah, that's no way.
I didn't even see that.
There's no chance. It's a crazy list. I mean, they have him ranked behind just if you look at the list, you find the list, which is easy to find.
Preposterous.
You look at it. Yeah, you'll look at it and you'll be like, he's better than this guy. He's better than this guy. We did it last night on BetMGM tonight, and Ryan Horvat turned off the list after the first 7 names. So if that tells you anything.
There you go.
We did have that audio of Tyson Bagent talking at that press conference about the contract and about how his dad didn't even have running water. So what a 180 for that family, and all the best to him. Let's have a listen to Tyson Bagent after that contract signing.
Yeah, I think that, a lot of people don't know this, but, my dad is he's my right-hand man, and he didn't even have running water until he was in high school. So there's definitely a lot of things and people that I think I could certainly help with this gift I've been blessed with. But yeah, just little things like that. Like, I don't really know anybody back at home with any money, so yeah, it feels good. I mean, it's certainly a weight off my shoulders and my family's shoulders, and yeah, it definitely means a lot.
That was courtesy of the Chicago Bears. And you know what? Even if he is, of course, like you were saying, he's the backup. I mean, we all know it's going to be Caleb Williams. I'm comfortable with it. One, because he gives me the confidence to know that there is somebody competent behind Caleb, God forbid any injury or anything like that, but also because of the fact that, I mean, hey, a guy that has come from nothing like that and now is, going to be doing well for his family. That's what you love to see. Speaking of doing well for their family, we have a great slew of guests for you today. National Ability Basketball League will be joining us to talk a little bit about their upcoming venture to the Cougars game. But stick around. We've got baseball right here on AM 1410 WRMN on the rise.
Hi there, Tammy Scully here from Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. Join me and my sidekicks Nancy and Becky for valuable lifestyle tips and unique views and insights on interesting topics and everyday situations, providing nonstop fun and chuckles for all. Get the scoop on consumer news, deep dive on current events, and learn about the newest economic trends, from exercise and gardening to music, travel, recipes, sports, pets, real estate, media, and everything in between. And it's all sprinkled with a healthy helping of bad dad jokes and interesting fun facts to boot. Tune in Mondays through Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for a little fun, frolic, and infotainment. Join us, won't you?
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Welcome to WRMN, your trusted voice in the Fox River Valley for over 75 years. We bring you fact-based news, good faith discussions, and entertainment that brings people together. From national headlines to local stories, WRMN is your home for thoughtful dialogue and community engagement. No matter the time of day, where you're listening from, or who you are always welcome here. Thanks for making us a part of your day. This is the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400, and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
Welcome back to AM 1410 WRMN. You're listening to On the Rise. Myself, Mike Napolitano, on the board, Nick Johnston, and joining us via Zoom, Brandon Combs. We've got some White Sox news here. As you know, WRMN is the home for your Chicago White Sox. You can listen to all of Chicago White Sox games on the radio right here on AM 1410 WRMN. If you were listening this past week, you really only got excited about one game. The White Sox get a win on Monday against the Atlanta Braves, 13-9. Everything else has been a loss. White Sox get swept by Kansas City. We were starting to talk about that series last weekend as we were on Saturday, but they couldn't quite do it. It was deja vu with 6-2 losses both Saturday and Sunday on the road. They stay on that road to face those Atlanta Braves, and they get the win in the first game, unfortunately drop the Tuesday night game. They were winning, and then runs in the 7th and 8th innings for Atlanta, 5 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and next thing you know, the White Sox are scrambling to get at least one run to keep the game alive in the top of the 9th. They are not able to do so. 11-10, your final score there, and then the Braves take the rubber match 1-0. That one hurts as well, just one whole run.
Yeah, that was the the clock striking midnight, the pumpkin turning back, or the carousel turning back into pumpkin type deal for a little bit. I know it wasn't sunshine and rainbows the entire time, but it was nice getting a couple wins here and there. But now back to the struggle bus for the White Sox, where you still seeing Lindeen Sosa hitting the cover off the ball, doing very well for him. Coastal Montgomery still just hitting moonshots. You love seeing that, but everybody else is kind of struggling here and there. It's just been exactly that. Just I guess I'll call it a collapse. That Braves series could have been at least 2 more wins right there. You lose in that third game, losing basically on an error. Couldn't get any runs support. Couldn't get anything done. That 1-0 loss. So could have got a couple more wins. It's a shame. Kind of maybe that harder schedule, that harder end that the White Sox are. They're the third hardest scheduled on the way out. That's kind of catching up to them now. I think at least a little bit. Meeting teams that for the most part, to be fair, I don't want to completely justify a sweep, but the Royals are red hot right now. Vinny Pasquantino might be Ted Williams reincarnated. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. The Pasquatch is going crazy. They're on a little bit of a tear, kind of just one of those things where you're running into a buzzsaw, nothing you can do in the Kansas City Heat. It is what it is. But yeah, like I said, kind of collapsing against Atlanta, not acceptable. But from staying positive, kind of ending with that compliment sandwich, it's just so much fun watching Colson Montgomery. He should have been up here so much earlier. It's actually a power in that bat compared to anybody else there. So he's the only, if there's a must-see in appointment television for the White Sox, it's a must-see for a Colson Montgomery at bat every single time.
Oh, absolutely. This Braves team is struggling, and you were hoping, of course, that the White Sox could get a couple wins against them. They're only 32-31 at home after that series, 58-69 on the season. Of course, the White Sox sitting at 45-82, so not as great a record. But what stands out was what Dalton was talking about earlier in the season. 19-46 on the road for this Sox team. Yeah. So the youth and the inexperience is showing on the road still. And, you can't fault them too much. That's where this team is. They're kind of expected to be where they're at. Maybe they're a little bit further along with some of the exciting at-bats that you're talking about with Colson Montgomery and Kyle Teal and some of the youth here. You can't expect too much more from them right now. You'd like to see it, of course, as a White Sox fan, as a Chicagoan, but it's just not coming, especially last night. They fight with this Twins team that, once again, a Twins team that is absolutely struggling. 26-38 on the road. They've also made some questionable moves at the trade deadline that, I think Twins fans thought, hey, we're going to continue to compete.
7 out of their 9 starters,
and, yeah, and you ship away, you become some of the biggest sellers at the trade deadline. I'm not saying that they were World Series bound or anything, but I think a lot of Twins fans thought that they were still in this window, and they come into Chicago last night. They hit a grand slam in the 4th inning. But then this White Sox team, unlike what we've seen in previous seasons, and I'm going to sound like a broken record here because I said this about the Bears, is there's compete, there's fight. They don't just lay down and die. This White Sox team chips away at the lead. However, you still see those glimpses of White Sox baseball, and I say that in a negative connotation, unfortunately, because they get right on the doorstep. They make it a one-run game. It's a 7-6, I believe it was 7-6 was the 8-7, excuse me, was the score. And then you send a guy from third base on a shallow pop fly in foul territory. You had no business tagging up there. That is a coaching mistake from Jerry Schell, the third base coach. You do not send the runner right there, especially when, that pop-up is caught. That's 2 outs. Bases are still loaded, and you have Luis Robert Jr. coming up to the plate. That tells me that you have no faith and no trust in your batting order to get the job done, to just get one more run. A base hit should score 2 runs right there. I know the previous 3 base hits only scored 1 run each, and that's what brought you within 1 run. They were shallow base hits. The Twins were playing their outfield in, but you have a big bat, supposedly a big bat like Luis Robert coming up to the plate, and you'd rather chance that run come home and just tie the game? I mean, you're in a prime position. I would rather have Luis Robert Jr. at the plate with bases loaded and 2 outs in the 8th than have him come up and lead off when you're down a run in the 9th. In fact, they ended up giving up more runs in the bottom of the 8th, so you were down a few runs in the 9th. So the White Sox are they're always this year right there. Which
they're always
their own worst
enemy. They're always shooting themselves in the foot.
They haven't been right there before. And then it's that one mistake that reminds you that, oh, yes, this is still the Chicago White Sox. And unfortunately, they can't get the win.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the
to watch. But you guys have to remember that this roster is still this roster.
Oh yeah,
yes.
And now you're to the point now because the Rockies have actually been playing some good baseball, which is really weird.
Yeah,
6-4 in their last 10. But despite their minus 349 run differential, which is insane to me. And now all of a sudden they have 37 wins. The White Sox are still sitting at 45, and you have to wonder, oh God. Oh God! Don't
let them catch up. Yeah,
don't let this happen. I still, they are fun to watch. You're right. I mean, they're still a fun watch. I love what Will Venable has done with this team. The fight that they have, the grit that they show on a night in and night out basis, no matter who their opponent is. They are still fun to watch. I don't understand why Luis Robert is still on this team. I don't understand why he's still hitting ahead of Andrew Benintendi. I still don't understand some of these things, but it is what it is. I mean, you've got mashed potatoes and you're trying to make a baked potato. So it's one of those things. But they are still fun to watch. Man, if Colorado catches them.
I was hoping Colorado would actually overtake that record of worst season in in modern MLB history, but it looks like that's not going to happen. And then on top of it, if they do catch the White Sox, that's not great either. The White Sox are going to have a tough schedule coming up. They continue to have to face the AL Central, which has been a thorn in their side all season long, really all decade long, I think you could say. The Minnesota Twins will remain in town tonight, a 6:10 game, followed by a 1:10 start on Sunday. You've got the Kansas City Royals, who the White Sox just got swept by last week in Kansas City, coming to town. 6:40 starts Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. No break this week as the White Sox go into a 4-game series with the New York Yankees. So a tough Yankees team coming to town. It'll be 6:40 starts on Thursday and Friday, followed by a 6:10 start on Saturday and a 1:10 matinee on Sunday. So that'll kind of round out the home stand as then they go back on the road and we continue on with the rest of the season going into September. But basically a whole month left of this season, and I'm not sure if I'm seeing a whole lot out of this White Sox team that I was liking some things in the middle of the season. Of course, this team was, as we've said multiple times, they're not playoff bound. They're not going anywhere. You wanted to see the strides moving forward. You see a little bit of the fight in the White Sox last night, but you still see them not able to string together wins. In fact, string together losses. And, it's going to be tough sledding for this last month of the season.
Well, good news, bad news for White Sox fans, right? Because that schedule is kind of tough coming up over the next week. But at the same time, Colorado Rockies have to go up against Burrows and Skeens this weekend. Then they get the Astros, Cubs, Giants, Padres, Dodgers, Padres. So they probably don't catch you. So that's a good sign for White Sox fans.
I guess
consolation prize.
Yeah, I guess if that's the silver or the bronze medal, I suppose, of this whole thing. Yeah.
You gotta look at the light at the
No,
end.
I get you. I've said that before, where it's it's gonna be the season or the next couple seasons of just like minor wins, personal wins individually. Like the wins on the field aren't going to be as important. They're not going to be. They're just not going to be issued the same. So the individual wins for sure are going to be measured much higher. So yeah, I was wondering if the blunder at the sacrifice flyer getting caught, Miguel Vargas getting tagged up, and was that the bigger issue last night, or just everyone and their mother complaining about the Cubs lineup was the bigger issue? I saw that the big thing for sure. So I guess problems on both ends.
We do have to get into Cubs, and there is a little bit more of a light at the end of the tunnel, or so it looks like from this past week, as the Cubs face their rivals to the north and the team leading the NL Central, the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's jump right into it, actually. Yeah. Monday was a 7-0 loss to this Milwaukee team. I mean, you look at this schedule, it was Milwaukee all week for the Cubs. So it was an opportunity to really close in and try to take that NL Central lead back. I don't think it's going to happen, but they do get 3 much-needed wins over Milwaukee. Both games of the doubleheader on Tuesday, 6-4 and 4-1. A 4-3 victory on Wednesday, but they do drop the finale to Milwaukee on Thursday. So, Brandon, I mean, that's got to feel good for Cubs fans who, you've seen as they were saying, satanic magic from the Brewers all this past couple of weeks as they go on a 14-game winning streak. They take over the division lead, and then next thing you know, the Cubs are having to face them, and they do a lot better than I think expected, which is weird to say at this part in the season after how we've seen this Cubs team play all year.
Did you just call Bob Uecker Satan? Because they've been calling Uecker magic, and you said satanic magic. Look, the Brewers are playing good baseball. They have the best record by far in all of baseball. They have 81 wins, and the next closest, I believe, is the Tigers with 77. So it's not like it's just the Cubs that they're over, right? Like, I think that when you look at the Cubs right now, if I told you this is the good part for Cubs fans before I start yelling, because I've got some problems with this team. Sorry. If you look at this Cubs team, and I told you in April, right, that they were going to be a game better than the Dodgers. They were going to have the same record as the Phillies. And they were going to have the second best record in all of the National League. Would you have taken that?
The Cubs?
Yeah, I guess I would have said it's definitely doable. It's definitely possible, especially with you've got Craig Counsell at the helm, right? And it was expected when you bring him in and sign him to that contract that he was going to manage this team and not necessarily turn them around, but get them back to being a playoff team.
Game better than the Dodgers. I would have called you crazy.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Because of the Dodgers roster,
Yeah.
everybody, the Dodgers are going to run away.
They
with
might
that.
be a sleeping
I
giant
told
right
you that
now.
On August 23rd, we'd be sitting here talking about the Cubs being a game better than the Dodgers. We would have taken it. Now, the Brewers have made it so that people are like, oh, what's wrong with the Cubs? What's wrong with the Cubs? The Cubs are in second place in the division behind the team with the best record in baseball, and they have the second best record in the National League. And they have a plus 114 run differential, the second highest run differential in all of baseball, only behind the Milwaukee Brewers. So the Cubs have gone through a rough stretch. I'll give you that, because they went through a stretch of about 5 series where they lost 4 out of 5 series. But this is still a team that hasn't been swept all year. This is still a team that hasn't had a losing streak longer than 3 all season long. I do have some problems with them, and the offense has kind of fallen off a little bit. But this is still an offense that can get back on track. This is still a very good baseball team. So people need to calm down on the fact that, the Cubs, blah, 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 blah. They're this team. What's wrong with this team? They were so good. I do think Jed killed them at the trade deadline. I think that the morale kind of went out the window. The air was out of the sail for a little bit. I think they're starting to get that back a little bit. I have a huge problem with the $8 million man, Craig Counsell. The lineup construction is unimaginable. Some of the things that you're doing are mind-boggling. You call up Owen Casey in Toronto, that final game of Toronto before you go to play Pittsburgh. He gets to the game, he gets to the stadium an hour before first pitch, and he's in the lineup. He has his first major league hit robbed by an unbelievable diving backwards catch in the gap. It was a fantastic play. And then you're playing against Pittsburgh, knowing that you have 3 outfielders who have been struggling. Ian Happ's been struggling. PCA's been struggling. And Kyle Tucker has been hurt, we find out.
Yeah.
You sit Owen Casey all weekend against the lowly Pirates, and you don't have any of those outfielders take a day off that entire damn weekend. And then come the Brewers series, you're going to give Kyle Tucker days off? That doesn't make sense. And then when you come up in Pittsburgh and Owen Casey finally does get an at-bat, it's not an at-bat with the bases loaded in the 6th inning when Dansby Swanson's coming up, who's not even hitting the weight of my 10-year-old son with runners in scoring position this season, who only weighs 90 pounds, by the way, so that should tell you something. You're not going to pinch hit for him then. You're going to pinch hit for him to start the inning after Dansby Swanson squanders that opportunity. You're going to pitch for him to lead off the inning and you pitch hit for him for Matt Shaw, who's been your best hitter since the All-Star break. What are we doing, Craig Counsell? What are we doing? Why do you get paid $8 million a year, the highest paid manager in all of baseball, to go and do nothing? You're not doing anything. You mismanaged the Kyle Tucker situation. We find out that the guy had a hairline fracture in his finger. He was playing hurt the entire time. Why didn't you step in and be like, guy, this isn't working. You're gonna sit, or you're gonna go on the IL. These are the things that I need to do as a manager, as the highest paid manager in baseball. I have to manage my team, but instead you're mismanaging the team. To sit there and let this kid go out there and get booed by Cubs fans, which is stupid as well. Cubs fans, smarten the hell up. You want this guy to come back and play for you next year, and you're booing him off the field because he's struggling for a month and a half. Stop. But Craig Counsell, you can't put him in that situation. That's on you. You are the manager of this ball club. You are the manager of this team. You are the highest paid manager in all of baseball, so manage the damn team. And this lineup construction where you constantly have Matt Shaw hitting 9th, and you're like, oh, well, he's hit really well for 2 weeks because we put him in some really good situations. No, Craig, he's hit well for about the better part of the last 2 months. And it's not because you're putting him in situations, because he's actually a pretty damn good hitter.
He's been able to adapt time after time.
Yes, move Dansby Swanson down to ninth. The guy who can only hit from the first to the sixth inning with nobody on base in front of him. And that's another thing. You know he struggles with runners in scoring position. 3 days in a row in the seventh inning with a guy on first, you have him steal second with Dansby Swanson at the dish.
Oh God!
You see how frustrated?
Like, oh, you're gonna end the inning here.
You see how frustrated Craig Counsell was getting when the reporters were just peppering him with, hey, this lineup question. After that, he's just, guys, what do you want me to do? He's basically just short of that. He's like, what do you want me to do? And after a while, they're just like, we want Shaw leading off. We probably want Horner in there. So like even Bruce Levine was just basically just peppered him with question to question like about this lineup. So he's clearly getting frustrated about this as well.
And that's why I could never work on the Cubs beat, because he would ask me something like that and he would get frustrated, or Jed Hoyer would ask me, and I would lay. What do you want me to do? Well, Craig, here's what I want you to do. It's so frustrating.
It was a good thing that the Cubs won Saturday night against the Pirates, a 3-1 victory, because then Craig Counsell went over and managed the Savannah Bananas, and I think there would have been an uproar from Cubs fans if he had gone and had a little recess after a loss. But they do take 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. They take, I guess you could call it 3 out of 5 from the Milwaukee Brewers and try to close that gap. You were talking about Kyle Tucker, though, and that leads me to the question that I think Dalton's been asking you all year, and finally we're past the trade deadline, and we're in the, I don't want to call it the 11th hour for Kyle Tucker, but now it's time for the Cubs to make a decision. You didn't trade him at the trade deadline, but you also, he's been injured, so do you think Kyle Tucker is worth the money that he was asking for, and what are the next steps with this Cubs team? Do they just let him walk in free agency during the offseason, or do you go ahead and pay him what he thinks he's worth?
Well, look, 2 months of struggles in a career where you are a guy who is a double-digit WAR guy. Yeah, I'm not going to take two months of struggles, and especially when you're playing hurt, and somebody isn't intelligent enough to tell you have to sit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put that on you that you're not worth the money that you're asking for. Reportedly, he turned down a $500 million deal extension from the Cubs at one point. I don't know how true that is, because I can't imagine the Cubs offering anybody $500 million. But look, he's going to get 300 plus. I don't know that you're going to get the 600 some people have talked about. Maybe he does. There's a huge rumor out there that the Dodgers are going to be highly in on him, which, yeah,
of
exactly.
Course.
So for me, when I look at the Cubs, I don't think they're re-signing Kyle Tucker. I really don't. I think that they're going to go after another Kyle in Schwarber.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
That poll was thrown out there. I think it was one of the other networks. They were throwing it out there. Like, what Kyle do you want to see at the end of the year? And overwhelming majority was for Kyle Schwarber, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the Cubs will make a play for Schwarber. I still think Jed regrets that decision to let Schwarber walk. So I think he's going to try to right that wrong, which means Schwarber will sign with the Cubs, and then next year he'll hit 186 with 21 home runs, and he'll be hurt by June.
Yeah.
Now, what about not the $500 million deal, but what about like a 3-year? I don't know what the number would be. Maybe like 150 and a couple. Maybe some options for Tucker. Is that more reasonable?
Here's the question: where does he play?
Okay.
Because you've called up Owen Casey, right? And if Owen Casey plays well and does everything, so here's my thing: if you do let's say everything aligns and the Cubs do re-sign Kyle Tucker, now the question becomes: what do you do with Owen Casey? What do you do with Seiya Suzuki? What are you doing with Kevin Alcantara, who's down?
You can let Seiya go.
Seiya's been really good this year.
That's true. Yeah, he's just been on the struggle bus.
Yeah, he's been struggling just like the rest of this offense has, but he's been really good this year with the bat. And so you've got this guy under contract for at least another 3 years in Seiya Suzuki. You've got Ian Happ until 2028. You've got PCA, and you're gonna end up extending PCA. what do you do with all of these bodies? Which is why I don't believe that they signed Kyle Tucker. I believe Owen Casey because not only is he a decent player, but he's cheaper, and we'd all know that the Cubs love to go cheaper. So,
Welcome to Chicago.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle Tucker is going to be a Cub long term. I really don't. I would be shocked if Kyle Tucker is a Cub long term. But I do think that they'll make some moves in the offseason. Look, there's still a long way to go, and this team is still pretty good, and they're probably going to end up playing the Brewers in the first round of the playoffs. So I don't, I don't know what the future holds for this team. I don't think they're a World Series team. I don't think they're a team that can contend for the world. I don't think this pitching staff is good enough. I think Jed screwed that up at the deadline. But I do think that they're a playoff team. I do think they're going to win the wild card. They'll be the number one wild card team, and we'll see what happens from there. But as far as Kyle Tucker goes, I'd be shocked if he's a Cub.
Does it sting that Cody Bellinger's having such a good season?
No.
Okay.
No, because look, you look at the two lineups and you look at different situation. Would he be doing as well here in Chicago? Would he be he's facing different pitching. He's hitting in a much easier ballpark to hit, which is crazy to say because Kyle Tucker's playing in Wrigley, but Wrigley has not been playing as much bandboxy as it has in the past.
Yeah, you wind merchants haven't had as much with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean New York. I mean I think you and I could hit a home run at some point.
Fair.
Out in right field. So it's you got to take all of that into account. So no, and they're essentially having about the same year. I mean, look, Cody Bellinger has a few more home runs, but I mean they're really having about the same year. And if you're talking long term, I'd rather have a shot at Kyle Tucker than Cody Bellinger.
Fair enough.
That's true. Well, we're going to be rejoined here by National Ability Basketball League, talking about their upcoming trip to the Kane County Cougars. You're listening to AM 1410 WRMN.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 9 o'clock.
About both timing and amounts.
At the White House, President Trump says Powell should have done something about interest rates sooner. He should
demonstration rehearsals. Kim has often used them to justify his own military displays and testing activities aimed at expanding his nuclear weapons program. The Korean peninsula remains in a technical state of war, divided by the demilitarized zone into North Korea and South Korea. I'm Lawrence Brooks.
The Pentagon has fired the Defense Intelligence Agency chief. That move comes weeks after the agency drafted and leaked a preliminary report contradicting President Trump's contention that U.S. strikes had obliterated Iran's nuclear sites. Breaking news at townhall.com. President Trump is threatening to remove the mayor of Washington, D.C. We get more on that from White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
After ordering a federal takeover of the D.C. police force, the president is boasting about a safer nation's capital, and he has a warning for Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser.
It was unsafe. It was horrible. And Mayor Bowser better get her act straight or she won't be mayor very long because we'll take it over with the federal government, run it like it's supposed to be run.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon has ordered National Guard troops patrolling the streets of D.C. to start carrying firearms. Greg Clugston, the White House.
False reports of active shooters on Thursday led to panic and temporary lockdowns in 2 U.S. universities. The schools were Villanova University outside of Philadelphia and the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Bob Agnew.
If your idea of therapy involves a fishing rod, a tree stand, or a campfire, then you need American Outdoors Radio. Host John Cruz speaks your language, whether it's about the best lures, tracking game, or that one buddy who always forgets to bring the beer. John's got the tips to sharpen your aim, the hacks to pack lighter, and the stories to keep you entertained. Again, that's American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz. Saturdays at 7 a.m. on WRMN 1410. Or stream it at WRMN1410.com. Get ready to outfish, outhunt, and outcamp 'em all on American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz.
Welcome back to AM 1410 WRMN. You are listening to On the Rise. Here with myself, Mike Napolitano, Nick Johnston on the board, and Brandon Combs joining us via Zoom. And we are also joined over Zoom by two very important friends of mine. We've got a very important cause and a great business as well. It is the National Ability Basketball League that is local here to the Chicagoland suburbs. We're going to have them get a chance to talk about their mission and what they're all about. But please welcome to the show Nick Levere and Mark Krasminski. How are you, gentlemen?
Not too bad, not too bad. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. I haven't had a chance to catch up with the league in a spell. I've seen you guys since the inception of Enable. So where are you guys at, and what is really the mission goals, both short-term and long-term? Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so we're in the DuPage County area right now. That's where we get most of our athletes right now. So we are a nonprofit organization, and eventually the long-term goal is we want to be a special recreational organization where we be able to have teams like the other special recreation organizations in the area, like Westrock Gateway Gators, Evanston Special Recreation, and we want to be able to compete against those other teams to be able to win like state championships and all that. But right now we're the only organization that offers off-season training for the special needs athletes, the basketball players. So what we're doing right now is after their basketball seasons are over, whether it's like the high school special needs seasons or the special recreational seasons are over, we're providing all the off-season training. We're providing community events. So for the summer camp, we do summer camps, 10-week summer camp programs where they work on all their fundamentals. And then we partner up with a bunch of college universities in the area to have the kids split up into two teams and scrimmage in front of a great crowd in a college atmosphere. So that's what we've been doing right now. And also in the future, we're going to be working on, getting some sponsorships going, some fundraisers going, and just keep promoting a good cause keep creating more opportunities for individuals with intellectual disabilities as much as we can.
It's such a good movement. It's such a positive thing to add to any community, and the Cougars are going to be adding them, you guys, to their community in just about a week here. Next Wednesday, I believe you guys will be at the King County Cougars game, so that's a lot of the reason that we are having you guys on. What exactly is going to be going down that Wednesday evening at Northwestern Medicine Field for you guys?
Yeah, so we're gonna be announced on the field that during the game. We don't know which half inning or anything like that. We don't have that information yet at the moment, but we're gonna have the entire Enable team on the field, and they're gonna honor us for the work we've been doing for special needs individuals. So we're definitely excited. We thank the King County Cougars, obviously. You know, I'm sure they get a lot of requests regarding such good movements and stuff, and the fact that they chose us as one of their nominations. We're definitely honored for that.
Yeah, it's the beauty of minor league baseball this time of year in the Chicagoland area as well. Is you've got these teams that are right in your backyard that are connected to the community in that sense. And we saw last night that the Schaumburg Boomers clinched their playoff berth. We're seeing that the Cougars are fighting to get into the playoffs, so we may have a little bit of an extended season over and in King County. But I know Claire that works over there has done a great job communicating with you guys and connecting both WRMN to the Cougars and also Enable to the Cougars. So that is going to be a fun evening and a jam-packed week for the Cougars, who have a huge homestand. They have a Pope bobblehead giveaway the next night. So for those that are looking to make it to a Cougars game this coming week, that'll be awesome. That's also Wednesday the 27th that you guys will be there. It'll also be Bark in the Park. So I believe we'll get a chance to see a bunch of dogs, a bunch of furry friends hanging around the ballpark. But for you guys to be able to get a chance to take part in whatever on-field activities they have planned for you, that will be amazing. For those summer camps that you guys were talking about, what does it take from the parents and from the community in order for you guys to run those, but also for athletes to sign up for it?
So we do a lot of social media right now. So we'll post times, dates, the camps, and then just coming out. Like I said, we accept anybody, all ages, to come out, experience what we do. We're getting a little more active on our website. We got a good friend of ours to start working on the website, so we get that active, and then sign up. We're gonna get newsletters going, but right now it's a lot of our social media to follow us on that and see what we're posting, where we're at, and how to stay connected with us.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then, staying connected with the sports world here in the Chicagoland area. Like we said, you guys will be at the Cougars, but hopefully come winter, that means, I know this is necessarily a basketball league, so hopefully that means connections with basketball teams, whether it be the Windy City Bulls, maybe even the Chicago Bulls. The sky is the limit here, it seems like. And then also, there's a bunch of minor league hockey in the area. So winter and summer, there's always something to do here. So, we're looking forward to seeing what you guys have planned as far as that goes. I had one other question for you, and it's slipped my mind at the moment.
I got one really quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to ask you just what was your connection to why you guys got involved in this organization? Why is it so special for you guys?
I have a younger brother with autism, and seeing his daily struggles every day, what he's got to go through, his challenges, how he's overcome it. Also, I played basketball most of my life, just like my younger brother has played basketball most of his life, and I compared both of the journeys that we've had. So while I was in like high school and college and stuff, there was always off-season opportunities for me to keep continuing to grow my game and get better. Versus like my younger brother, where after their seasons are done, I realized that there's no off-season opportunities for them. So because a lot of these special recreation organizations, obviously they don't primarily just focus on basketball, of course, they have other sports, they have other athletes that participate in those sports and stuff. But basketball is the most popular sport in Special Olympics. You see those huge tournaments, those huge Special Olympics tournaments, and there's thousands of people in the crowd, and just to see my younger brother just sitting around waiting until the basketball season starts up again. That's why we're doing this, because we want them to have the same opportunities as us that we played basketball growing up, and we were trying to work on our game every single day to be the best player that we could be, and just to be the best individual we could be on and off the floor. I think it's extremely important that these kids stay active, because there's just just life in general. There's hardly any opportunities for them. You see, as soon as they graduate school and stuff, you see they only have like minimum wage work that society gives them, that gyms folding towels or, a fast food chains, all that kind of work. So not only we're a basketball organization, we want to set an example to other organizations out there. It doesn't have to be basketball necessarily, but when given these individuals opportunities to succeed, I really think they could surprise a lot of people.
That's really awesome to hear.
Yeah. So I got a question. What you guys are doing is great. As a guy who autism kind of runs in my family. I've got a couple of cousins with it. My uncle, my brother. So I really appreciate the things that you guys are doing. If somebody wanted to donate to the cause or to volunteer, how would they do that?
So on our website, www.abilitybasketball.com, we have a donate button, and our main email, we both are on that email to reach out to us. We do try to give our phone numbers out to anybody to spread it out. Just contacting us and then asking how to do anything is we were able to help tell anyone the best way to help us or to help the cause. So really open and try to get people involved with us because we don't want to do this alone. This isn't an I thing. This is the more people we get, then the bigger it grows. So,
and we're starting to get a lot of athletes from a lot of different organizations as well. This is our second year being an official 501c3 nonprofit, and just from our camps alone, we've more than doubled our athletes already. Our first year we had about 9 to 10 athletes that show up consistently. Now we're a little bit over 20 athletes that would show up, that have signed up. So just a little growth like that, it just shows that we're starting to spread the message. People are starting to understand like what we're trying to do, because at the end of the day, this is all for them. They're the story. They're the message. They're the ones that should be getting all the attention and recognition, because they hardly get that in today's society in general.
And what was that website one more time?
It was www.abilitybasketball.com.
Great.
Yeah, I love that. Ability Basketball. And of course, this is the National Ability Basketball League, or as it spells out, NABL, enable. I love the motto that you guys are going to enable your athletes. So
that would have took me a minute to get there, honestly.
That's okay.
I'm glad you spelled that out, honestly.
So yeah, we're grateful for everything that you guys are doing. You're mostly running camps out of Carroll Stream, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so that people can find you.
Yeah, but eventually we will start running multiple different camps in multiple different locations. We'll probably start that next year, like next summer. So we're definitely excited for that, especially with the athlete count. We more than doubled this year. So if we're going to keep continuing on that growth every single year, then we're definitely going to be doing multiple different locations and we're going to try to help as many athletes for other special recreational organizations as much as possible.
Yeah, that's kind of going to be my also follow-up. Is just maybe what's a short-term, maybe a long-term goal for the organization down the line?
So is to spread our camps that we're doing right now to the Chicagoland area, right? Like Nick said, we're just in Carroll Stream, start spreading to Schaumburg, Naperville, Aurora, just kind of be infectious around Illinois and to be all season long. So right now we're just doing a summer camp, probably get a winter camp going, but just to have a camp 24/7 in as many towns as we can. Right, Illinois mainly, that's our main thing. Not going to bite off more than we can chew, but then the Midwest, but just to keep these kids active playing all year long.
That's awesome. Yeah, and any plans to expand? I know basketball is the focus, but you talked about partnering with other sports organizations and other special needs organizations as well. I know they offer other sports. Any plans to expand to different sports? I've seen Mark on skates, so we could always throw hockey in that realm as well, right?
Yeah. So we've had talks with other organizations. Softball is going to be a big one. Soccer, hockey, golf. We talked about that one, but we're going to expand to what we do for basketball for these kids. We want to do for every sport. If they're not a basketball player, they're a hockey player. we can get them on skates, right? They want to play soccer, we're gonna get them playing soccer. We're gonna get them whatever they want to do. We're gonna, our goal is to give them the opportunity to do whatever they want to do all season long.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would love to see a softball team maybe even take the field against the Cougars. That would be a fun one as well. So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. We will see you Wednesday night. It is a Wednesday evening game. I believe it's a 6:30 first pitch over at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva for the Cougars versus the Gary South Shore Railcats. National Ability Basketball League will be there in some fashion. We're going to have to wait and see, and WRMN will be there to cover it as well. So we will see you guys on Wednesday evening.
Can't wait for it. Thank you for having us. We appreciate this, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for jumping on. Awesome. One more time, that was the National Ability Basketball League. That was Mark Krasminski and Nick Levere jumping on to give us a little bit of information there. As far as minor league talk goes, we're running out of time. We got some other things that we've got to get to, of course, but we did want to mention one more time that the Boomers did clinch their playoff berth. So I will be there Tuesday night. I'll be at the Cougars Wednesday night. So we'll see a little bit of minor league ball. The Cougars are still in search of that playoff clinching. The Dogs are not quite. Oh no, they just clinched last night.
Dogs clinched last night. Could have clinched 2-day game. They went ahead and swept the Dock Hounds, who were number 1 in the East Division. But otherwise, yeah, it was the win last night that went ahead and put them over the edge. So yeah, but as of right now, Dock Hounds and the Dogs. One is a real dog, one is a fake dog. Currently playoff bound in the East Division.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, one's a hot dog, one's an actual fluffy, furry dog.
No, a Dock Hound isn't real. It's not a real dog.
But they got it on the logo.
It's fake.
Well, I've seen dogs run out
Fake
on docks.
news.
No.
It's not a breed.
I just added another Mamma Mia to my list. Anyways,
There you
go. But
and the Lincoln salt dog isn't real either. There's 3 dogs in this whole independent ball club, and only one's real.
I'd say if you put ketchup on a dog, then you have a salt dog, but that would actually make it sweet. But you're not allowed to put ketchup on dogs. So.
Brandon's having an aneurysm over there.
I thought I was the 40-year-old dad.
Listen, I got to practice.
Unbelievable. I was just going to say, I mean, the dogs aren't a real breed of dog either. They're a hot dog.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. But no ketchup, only mustard.
Yeah, I didn't throw the stupid pun out there.
Whoa. It was stupid, but it was punny. Come on now. All right, I'm done. I'm done.
Condiments as our mascot. We're good.
I'm done. Brandon's about to punch the wall behind him. So,
Mamma Mia.
A team that does need some practice, though, as I was saying, I needed some practice. That'd be the Chicago Sky. We left off with them not looking good going into a rough remainder of the season, and it hasn't gotten any better. Last Friday, we left off a 90-59 loss to Golden State, that brand new team that entered the league, the Valkyries. Tuesday was a loss at home against the Seattle Storm, 94-88. They did get back in the win column against the defending champs, which was impressive. The New York Liberty, a 91-85 win Thursday evening. It's unfortunate we don't have Dalton here with us because he was at Tuesday night's game to get a chance to kind of recap what has been going on in Skyland these days. But there's only a few games left, 9 games left of the season, and the Sky are currently sitting at 9-26. Not good at all.
There's a lot that the Sky have to build on, right? Like, and you look at this team and you look at what they could be, and who knows what happens with the WNBA and the league with all of the money stuff that's been going on, which is ridiculous, by the way. But I think that they've got a solid base. They've just got to build some more stuff around, Angel Reese, who can hopefully start making layups, and they've got some talent there. They've just got to put a little bit more around it.
Miraculously, there are 2 teams that are sitting below the Sky right now. That's because the Dallas Wings have the same number of wins, but 2 more losses. They're 9-28. those Dallas Wings, and then you have the Connecticut Sun, who are sitting at 8-27. So, I mean, the Sky are not the worst team in the league. I don't know if they will finish as the worst team in the league. They might sneak in a couple more wins here, but they are officially eliminated from the playoffs. So the Minnesota Lynx are the only team, the only team that have clinched their playoff berth. But it's, of course, the top 8 teams. The only other 2 teams that are kind of competing for that final 8th spot are the Los Angeles Sparks and the Washington Mystics. They're within a maximum of 2 games. The Washington Mystics are 2 games back from the Golden State Valkyries, who are sitting currently in that 8th spot. But no playoffs for the Sky. They do. There's no playoffs for the Sky. Last year, the Sky were sitting in a playoff spot. They were sitting in 6th. They dropped all the way to 9th and missed the playoffs. A lot of that was due to injuries. So new coaching this year. I think people were expecting there to be a couple of growing pains, but to still be as competitive as they were last year. I know injuries like to Courtney Vandersloot have hurt the team. Angel Reese has been out for a little bit. Camila Cardoso missed a few games going to play for her national team. It hasn't been easy for this Sky game, but them's the breaks. That's what you got to play through, and for them to not compete.
Is there a quick fix? I'm just trying to look. Is there that big free agent that's going to be coming up next year? Is there a big, not obviously not a Caitlin Clark coming up in the next draft, but is there a that next star that the Sky can start striving for? I personally just don't know what the exit ramp is for this mediocrity, because at least it seems like in the WNBA you can go from the bottom to a playoff contender pretty quick. Yeah. So like I said, I don't know if it's gonna be one player, maybe a couple different moves, maybe just that one step up for maybe like Camila Cardoso. Seems like she was kind of low on the low end all year. Didn't really hear a ton about her all season. So maybe that could be the step up. A graduation again, another year of Angel Reese, another year of Cardoso together, and then maybe that star again. I think Vandersloot being out all year was a huge detriment. Just the leadership, the skill on the court, losing both of those in one person, that's a huge factor. It's a huge factor for a squad like that. Like I said, which on the younger side, at least on the younger side, when it comes to their top stars. So I can only hope that maybe it is one person, one player that comes in and fixes it all right. But it could be another year or two of kind of just on the downtrend for the Sky. I hope that's not the case though.
Yeah, no doubt. The Sky do have a tough schedule coming up. Tonight, they will be at home against the Connecticut Sun. Actually, tonight, it's a 3 p.m. game, so it's an afternoon game. That'll be on CBS Sports Network. Monday night, we'll be at home as well, a 7 p.m. game against the Las Vegas Aces, and it will not only be a really nice game that the Sky can try to play upset with the Las Vegas Aces, but it'll also be the second retirement jersey ceremony in Sky history. That'll be Candace Parker's number 3 jersey will be getting retired on Monday evening. So be sure to be in the building for that one. Then the Sky will go on the road to play the Phoenix next Thursday at 9 p.m. on Prime Video. Oh, I should also mention that Las Vegas game will be on NBA TV. And then next Saturday, after we jump off the mics, it'll be an 8 p.m. game against the Seattle Storm out in Seattle once again. That'll be leading into the final week and a half or so of the season. So not a whole lot of basketball left for the ladies.
Did you speaking of jersey retirements, did you see the price tickets for Derrick Rose's jersey retirement? Just to get in the door, it's like $650 right now.
Yeah, I did see that. So
and that can keep going up.
Last year, if you remember, the Bulls honored Derrick Rose with a Derrick Rose night, but did not actually retire his jersey number, which a lot of people thought was going to happen. The Blackhawks were doing the same thing, I think, with Jeremy Roenick. But, I mean, this is kind of their way of getting, 2 celebratory nights out of it, to milking it over 2 seasons.
Oh, they're milking it for sure for the Derrick Rose. Do you know what they're doing for my collectibles guys and my guys that like free stuff?
Well, I know they did a pop-up flower shop last year with roses. Are they doing something this year?
So 4 different giveaves.
Oh, I did see that.
Then they're all Derrick Rose figures, like an action figure, and they're all 4 different sponsors. So they're already planning them out, so you can see what dates to go get your tickets for those are. So if you want to collect all 4, good luck. They're going to be very limited. I think this is going to be one of those things that you see on eBay go up on there on the secondary market and just goes skyrocket. So 4 different, like what is it? Rookie Derrick Rose, green jersey Derrick Rose, MVP Derrick Rose.
He's got the mask on. And
and then the broken nose Derrick Rose. So you get 4 different Derrick Rose figures. So hey, if you like free stuff, better get out there and start fighting.
I need to know who's running the promotion department, and I need them to be the Bulls GM immediately because they do a great job of trying to get people in the door. Maybe they could do that with the roster.
That'd be fantastic.
Actually put something on the court. I was going to ask you during that Cubs segment real quick before we head into our final segment. We've got a little bit of Blackhawks news as well as some more baseball and some soccer. Do you think the Cubs are the new Bulls based on what they do or, frankly, don't do at the trade deadline? Because the Bulls...
Cubs win.
Okay, good. Yeah, that was where I was leading that because the Cubs and the Bulls, they got a lot of money to spend. They just don't do it, and then you come away feeling like a cheated fan at the trade deadline. But as you said, the Cubs actually have a winning record. I don't know if the Bulls can say the same, although, hey, they got those cash considerations for that trade that they made during the draft. So there's to line in the pockets there, right, for the Chicago Bulls. Oh boy,
yeah, that's just what every team, every GM in this town does.
Yeah. So we'll be back right here on AM 1410 WRMN. You're listening to On the Rise.
Get ready for Around the House every Saturday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on WRMN AM 1410. If you're a homeowner or contractor looking to tackle those projects that feel a bit too big, this is the show for you. Join Eric along with his knowledgeable guests as they dive deep into everything from DIY renovations to creating a healthy home environment. We'll provide you with the tools and tips you need to complete your projects with confidence and ease. But it's not all work and no play. We believe in having fun. Our passion for home improvement shines through as we help you save time, money, and reduce the stress of DIY. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, don't miss Around the House. Tune in every Saturday night and let's tackle those home projects together.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
They were best friends, inseparable in fact, until the day Miguel died. Every day his friend visited Miguel's grave. Rain, wind, weekends, holidays, every day. Miguel's closest friend, Capitan, his German shepherd, is a symbol of loyalty to which we can all aspire. Loyalty. Pass it on from passiton.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to AM 1410 WRMN, live from Studio 14. You're listening to On the Rise. Myself, Mike Napolitano, joined by Nick Johnston on the board and Brandon Combs via Zoom. We just spoke with the National Ability Basketball League, Enable. They will be making an appearance at the Kane County Cougars on Wednesday night. So thank you to Nick Levere and Mark Krasminski for jumping on and talking a little bit about their mission and their goals with us. Be sure to stay tuned for the 10 o'clock hour through the noon hour. That'll be the Truth About Chicago Sports. And I just heard a little bunny hop in here over my shoulder. That was Mr. Marcus Mack, and he will be in studio live again here at AM 1410. So it'll be good to have him in person this time. So that'll be with Blake Cowell and Sophia Blackburn as always. So stay tuned for more sports on this River Media Network Sports Saturday. As far as sports go, it was a really busy week for the Chicago Stars FC. They had two matchups. That was, of course, the matchup we were previewing last week, which was the Monday night matchup against the, excuse me one second. Let me double check that I have the team names right here. The Seattle Reign, that's what it was. Out in Seattle, a weird Monday start, but the Stars would take it. They would not take the game, though, but they'll take 1 point. A 3-3 tie. So, hey, listen, this is a Chicago Stars team that is still struggling to find their second win of the season, but they hadn't even been getting ties beforehand. So the fact that they have now, we're going to get to it, 4 draws in a row, that's huge. That's a step up. You're getting points at the very least. You're not losing games. You're not, taking a lead and then getting blown out late in games. So they tie with Gotham, they tie with Bay FC, and then heading into this past week, they tie a 3-3 tie with the Seattle Reign. But the big headline coming out of this game, the Stars were trailing by a goal late, and it was the old goalie pull maneuver. You send your goalkeeper all the way up the field to get an extra attacker in the box on a set play, a corner kick. And Alyssa Nair, the goalkeeper, in the 90th plus 9 minutes, so that added stoppage time, and Alyssa Nair, the goalkeeper, finds the back of the net to get this game level.
Trying to cover in the last second. Corner kick for Chicago. A chance to equalize. Into the box, headed. Dickey, what a save! And then it's in! Chicago equalize at the death.
So Alyssa Nair, that was courtesy of CBS Sports, and she gets her first ever goal. It's kind of hard to score as a goalie in soccer. Her first ever goal in the NWSL in her 200th appearance. So huge boost for this Chicago Stars team as they steal a point from the Seattle Reign. So the Stars end up 1-6-9 with 9 points. You also had a goal from Ludmila and Cameron Biegalski. So the Stars are out for the Stars, I should say. And they carried that momentum into their game last night. That was against the North Carolina Courage back at home. Once again, a 3-3 draw. I mean, the fact that the Stars are even scoring 3 goals in a game is awesome. And all 3 of these goals for the Stars came late in the game. They were down 1-0. They were down 2-0. But then all of a sudden, Ludmila with 3 straight goals in the 76th, the 81st, and the 86th minute. It was her first hat trick with the Stars and the fastest hat trick in NWSL history. So that was a huge occurrence for Chicago last night. Unfortunately, there was a Jaden Shaw goal at the 83rd minute mixed in with Ludmila, so it was not a natural hat trick, and also it kept things level rather than giving the Stars the win. But another dire point, they improved to 1-7-9 with 10 points on the season. So this Stars team has looked better, and that is important because their next matchup will be a very important one, a Sunday, August 31st matchup in Washington against the Spirit before they come back home. That'll be a 3 p.m. game, I should mention, on CBS and Paramount Plus. Before they come back home, but they're not at SeatGeek Stadium. That'll be Sunday, September 7th against the Orlando Pride. So that one will be at Northwestern Medicine Field, and not the Cougars' Northwestern Medicine Field. I'm talking to them about the one at Northwestern University on the lakefront. So it'll be Orlando and Chicago facing off at 2 p.m. on the lakefront. That will be exciting. On the other side of Chicago soccer, it was the Chicago Fire getting a 3-2 victory over St. Louis City FC. That is the first time St. Louis City has come to Chicago because this is their inaugural season. You had goals from Hugo Kuipers in the 16th minute, Philip Zinkernagel in the 67th, and Brian Gutierrez in the 87th. And they do get the victory there, so that was huge. I was not able to attend this one, even though it was at Soldier Field, because we were still at Banana Ball. We kind of mentioned this last weekend that the Friday night game was electric. I had the pleasure of interviewing both AJ Przynski and Mark Burley, but it was Saturday night when I finally got a chance to catch up with the owner of the Savannah Bananas and the creator of Banana Ball, Jesse Cole. I am Mike Napolitano of WRMN, and I am here with Jesse Cole, the creator of Banana Ball and owner of the Savannah Bananas. Jesse,
what is that?
your first time here in Chicago, how do you think the fan reception was, and coming to Chicago, this whole experience was for the Banana Ball?
Well, it's special. It means a lot to me personally. Bill Beck's been a huge mentor and idol for me, and I read every book and studied and talk about a fan's first owner. And so to see what happened the last 2 nights here, especially an hour-and-a-half rain delay, to see not a fan that left, whole stadium full, says a lot. And we're proud, we're grateful to be here, and just these were 2 special nights that we're not going to forget.
You mentioned Bill Beck. You talked a lot about the inspiration from Bill Beck to do something like this that is very fan first. There are some criticisms out there that, it's more of a show than baseball, and, what do you have to say to all of that, considering that you're having a sellout crowd every single night here, and the product on the field is igniting young fans to love the game of baseball?
They're right. It is a show. We're trying to create the greatest show in sports. So, for some people, it's not for them. We're focusing on the people that it's for. And to see thousands of fans and millions of fans all over the country, that's who we're trying to put on a show for them. And to see the delight and the joy and the happiness from age 2 to 82, that's what fires me up. And that's who we're performing this for and trying to create the greatest show. So, we're in a great spot. And we're going to keep focusing on the people that believe in us and try to get better every single day. And I'll tell you, this weekend says a lot. And we're just getting started.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves when it sounds like you guys are planning on adding 2 more teams to the league to make it a full 6-team league next year. Do we have any insight on what's coming from Banana Ball, and when is the next time that we can see you in Chicago, maybe?
Well, I've got a lot of insight. I'm working every single day on the future. I'm here with the fans, but then also I'm working on where we're going. And, I think our goal is to play all over the country, and every fan can drive to a game and see a show. And with what Chicago showed us this weekend and the response and then the excitement, we'll definitely have plans to come back here in the future, and hopefully sooner than later.
That is amazing. I think a lot of people think that there isn't a whole lot of transparency. They always think, what's the catch? But you just seem like the most genuine, authentic owner, fan first. So I appreciate you for everything you've done here. You've put on a great spectacle. And as a White Sox fan myself, it's amazing to see this stadium packed this weekend. So thank you again.
Thank you. Well, it was electric. And you know what? There's a lot of great fans here in Chicago. And we're going to try to keep coming back and put on a show for them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That was Jesse Cole, the owner of Banana Ball and creator of Banana Ball as well. And you got to hear a little bit of his insight going forward. And I mean, that league is growing, whether you like it or not.
Can I my 2 takeaways from that? Just just quick interaction from that.
Absolutely.
One, I love that answer. That whole thing about we're here for the fans that are here. Like we're not trying to It doesn't seem like they're trying to go outside the box. They're reaching the fans that they're reaching, and they love the response that they're getting. So I really like that answer, and just the answer that exactly what he just said to follow up after. It's a show. Yeah. It is a show. He recognizes that that seems to be the goal, and it doesn't seem like they're going to go outside of that. It doesn't seem like no, we're groundbreaking. We're going to change this. We're going to change it. No, we're a show. We want to do this. We want to put this on. So I like that they're, again, for what it's worth, they're staying in their lane. They're doing what it's worth, and they're having a blast, and everyone else seems to be having fun with it too. So again, if this is the gateway of kids getting involved, maybe they're going to do the behind the back. Oh my, sorry.
Breaking stuff in the studio.
Maybe they'll do the behind the back catch and break something like I just did when they're trying to have fun in their backyard. And then, when they get older and mature, I think they'll put that down. They'll start be like, okay, maybe I'll just start paying attention to baseball. Wansler is a good player. Let me just start watching him. Aaron Judge is pretty cool. I'll just start watching Aaron Judge. Stuff like that. I think that's going to be the slow, gradual growth with this. So it's going to be fun.
No doubt. Yeah. It was an amazing experience. I mean, the baseball is still there. I mean, yes, it's sped up, and yes, it's not traditional baseball, and yes, the rules are different, but the fun aspects of baseball, the parts that baseball should be, especially for a younger audience, a family-friendly audience. I mean, you think about where this started. This was a team that was actually playing in a minor league like we have here with the Boomers or the Cougars. And they wanted to put on all these family-friendly shows in between innings like you see at some of these stadiums, but then it makes the game run so long. So they said, okay, how do we bring these two closer together? We still get the product and the family fun aspect of it, but we get the game done in a reasonable amount of time, and we make sure that we're still playing baseball, and that's really what I think Banana Ball is. Whether you're watching the Party Animals and the Tailgaters or the Firefighters and the Savannah Bananas, and like you said, the skill is still there. I mean, they're still doing these crazy behind the back catches and stuff like that, and they still have to be able to hit the ball, and they still have to be able to throw the ball and stand on stilts and all this stuff. But yes, all that goofiness in there, it is a show, but it's as Jesse Cole said, I think it is the best show in all of sports. And go ahead.
For all the detractors too, like you mentioned in your interview, for all the people that are like, oh, this isn't real baseball and all this stuff, it's the same people that are out there, oh, professional wrestling is fake. Yes. And you know what? People enjoy that. Just the same way that when you're sitting at home and you're watching whatever television show you like to watch, whether it's Chicago PD, whether it's soap operas, whatever the case is, this is the sports fans' version of that.
Yeah.
So let it be. It's fun to watch. To sit out there and watch Paul Konerko step up to the plate again at Comiskey Park, and I'll never call it the rate, Comiskey Park, to sit there and watch, Mark Burley get on the mound again. Like, where else would you be able to see that? Banana Ball brought that back to Chicago. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm sad that I missed it. But it's an amazing product. It's an amazing show. And if you want traditional baseball, there's plenty of it during the season. You got 162 games times 30 teams. So go catch that there.
It's like the El Paso Taco Girl. Why not both? ¿Por qué no los dos? You can have both.
And again, we're spoiled in Chicago. We've said this week in and week out. If for some reason, if you don't like the White Sox or the Cubs, you're just sick of the winning or the losing in either which way. There's plenty of minor leagues in all different directions to go support as well. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, you're in a prime spot where an hour north, south, east, or west, you're going to be able to find some independent baseball.
And if you don't like pretend baseball, you don't like a team that's not really a team, then you know what? There's thousands of White Sox fans who have been dealing with that for years.
Exactly.
I will say, like you said, we are spoiled, and I hope we get spoiled with Banana Ball again fairly soon. I would imagine they have plans to probably go to Wrigley Field at some point and even it out on both sides of town, or come back to the rate, because I will tell you right now, other than myself being at Mark Burley's perfect game, I was at the Game 4 of 2021 of the ALDS between the White Sox and the Astros. I'm sure Game 3, the White Sox won, and it was more electric. But I will say, seeing this stadium packed out, because I was 6, 7 years old in 2005, and that was the first year I knew about baseball. That was the first year that I got ingratiated into the sport. And, how do you teach a kid patience when his team wins the World Series in year 1, right? But other than those memories and like just being at the ballpark this past weekend for the Savannah Bananas, it wasn't, I'm sure it was the same for people that got to view from the stands, but being on the field, being able to interact with these guys like they're everyday people, because they are everyday people and they treat you like it too. When we're talking to some of these athletes and stuff like that, they're the most down-to-earth, humble. Even Mark Burley, in his interview, he told me, he goes, I don't think I should have my number retired or a statue out in there in right field, but it is what it is. But, that was arguably, like I said, other than Mark Burley's actual perfect game, those were my best memories at the ballpark, at Comiskey Field, because I call it that too, at Comiskey Field that I've had. And I hope there are more days like that to come with the actual White Sox. But if Banana Ball comes back and sells out their crowd, you saw in that video, if you're watching with us on the YouTube, they do that thing where, they start playing Yellow by Coldplay because, bananas. And everybody pulls out their phone flashlights. And it is just a sea of people coming together to just celebrate. At the end of the day, still celebrate baseball. It may be that show, but they're all there because it is technically baseball. So unbelievable performance by
if there's one more final naysayer that just isn't convinced, I think 80,000 people over the course of 2 days can maybe maybe push you in the right direction, maybe influence you to tell hey, this is working.
And I know that was the running joke with Cubs fans, of course, or people who aren't White Sox fans in the city, but White Sox fans as well. It's like, oh, well, this is the only time that the stadium is sold out.
We're working during the season. We got stuff to do.
We're getting there. When the White Sox...
We're busy.
I'm not trying to say everybody's fair weather fans, but when the White Sox have that
when
pedigree.
the Cubs were there.
Yeah, that is true.
There was
22,000 is big.
There was 22,000 last night.
Yeah.
For the Twins. For the Twins.
Yeah. Well, it was also Elvis night. We saw some Elvis impersonators. How you doing? Thank you very much.
Because we know these Jerry Reinsdorf owned teams are really good at marketing.
And firework night. So you had a little bit of everything in there. But that meant I didn't get to go to that fire game that we were talking about beforehand that was right up the block. But everything was going on last weekend in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
I know, Brandon, unfortunately, you didn't get a chance to make it out to UFC, but UFC was going on. That was hot ticket as well. We had a couple of concerts between Tate McRae and the Chainsmokers. WRMN also covered the Italian Fest, so go ahead and check that out on some of our socials. We got to speak with Ron Onesti, who runs the entire show, and also the Arcada Theater over here in St. Charles. So if you know Ron, he's a great guy.
The Italian Fest. Of course you did.
Of course I did. Molto bene. I also got to interview Catherine Narducci, who played Artie Bucco's wife, Charmaine, on The Sopranos. And she's been
How many garlic knots did you eat?
I didn't. Don't tell anybody. I didn't actually eat
What?
anything at the fest. I know. I was there with a microphone and a camera. I was doing stuff for our lovely leader, Dean. And I didn't get a chance to eat anything before it closed. I know. Don't crucify
That's the first
me.
thing I thought of when you said Italian Fest. I was like, this just jerk out a bunch of food. You didn't eat anything?
Well, we were at Bananas Friday and Saturday. I didn't get a chance to go Thursday. I was tied up that day as well. Sunday, I got there late after work, and I was like, I just want to get these interviews and get the content and shake some hands. And
well, I don't want to do your job for you. You could have made that content. You're like, I'm rating food. I get to eat. La da da da. I give this 3 spicy meatballs out of 5.
As I'm interviewing Catherine Narducci.
Mike's not a thinker.
Yeah, get out of here. As I'm interviewing Catherine Narducci, just a meatball sub in one hand, chicken parm in the other. Yeah, so you were in Sopranos, huh? Yeah.
Spitting sauce.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry, I got a little something on you over there. Let me wipe that off. No, that was, no. So I tried to keep it respectful.
I'm disappointed.
Hey, I got it at home. Don't you worry about it. I went to my Aunt Sabina's yesterday. She made some great mostaccioli, some neck bones. Oh, her salads are great too. So, yeah, don't worry. I still get mine. I make sure to get mine.
What the hell are you eating? Neck bones?
You've never had neck bones? Oh, Maron.
No, I'm not a cannibal.
There it is. That's my Mamma Mia. That's a great transition. Mamma Mia, you've never had neck bones. What do you do? Marigan, huh?
What is a neck bone?
Yeah.
It's like one of the most tender. It is tough to eat because it's literally like part of the neck bone of, I believe it's of the cow. Yeah? No.
Oh, God.
but like it's
What
it's
the
not
hell?
not very big.
You don't
but, like,
even know what animal you're eating?
I don't know. It's good. Yeah, because it's pork. Yeah. So
That's,
like,
that's fantastic. Give me 8 of
Well,
them.
if it's pork, then
No,
it's not a cow.
no, like a. Hold on. We're gonna do some
That's
research
that one
here.
video. That
I'll be
one.
honest.
You ever see that one guy
I'm not
goes?
sure what animal.
He goes, "That's fantastic. Give me 8 of them."
Neck bone right now.
No. It's not a human neck bone.
No.
Holy cow.
Those are fantastic. Give me 8 of them. What? You want to know what's inside of them?
pretty sure
No,
it's a
just give me 8. Just give me more.
Oh my god.
That's what it sounds like from that.
Oh, it's a pig. My bad. My bad. No, it can be cow though, but I'm pretty sure this was pig. To be honest with you, it could be lamb as well. Great, it's great. It's tough to eat though, but it's you get the tender meat. It's really good. So
I want to meet the first person that decided they were going to do this. I guarantee you they're not stable.
probably not. Would you have a Mamma Mia, Brandon?
You know, look, my Mamma Mia obviously goes out to Craig Counsell and Jed Hoyer. But I want to actually just take this time. This is going to be my last full-time episode here with you guys. I just want to thank you guys for everything that you guys have done, the way you guys have supported me throughout my journey. And look, but things are happening. Things are good. I'm excited for my next step with Odyssey and being a full-time executive producer over there. It's an opportunity that I can't wait for. It's going to give me a semblance of an actual life where I don't have to grind and work, 3 jobs and pick up work on days that I'm off and all this other stuff. So, but you guys have been nothing but supportive ever since we met over at Illinois Media School. Nick, you are one of the hardest workers I know. And I can't wait to see some of the things that you do. Hopefully you'll be, coming over to Odyssey.
That's
pretty
the goal.
soon if I have my way. So, Mike, you've been great. I enjoy all of your box scores every single damn week. You know how much I love that stuff. But I want to thank you guys because I've made some real good friends throughout this journey, and you guys and Dalton are definitely a part of that list. So I'm excited for the future. I will be back as a guest anytime that you guys want. I will come on and fill in if you guys ever need. But as far as full time and figuring out every Saturday, I'm going to spend some time with my daughter, who is a senior at Marist High School, who is going to be going to the University of Iowa next year. And I'm going to take some time to spend some time with family. We've got some medical situations going on with the family, so I'm going to deal with that as well. So I'm going to step away for a little while and just kind of let it all soak in, work on my career, and enjoy my family for a little while.
Well, I could say on my end, you've been busting your hump, and rightfully so. Congratulations! This is huge. This is awesome. It's one of those things, like you said, where it's a huge relief to not have to grind as hard, take a little bit of time off, and exactly right. Like you said, you deserve this. You deserve some time with your family. That's awesome to hear. Congratulations, Brandon.
Absolutely, yeah. You talked about us to support you along the way, and we'll continue to support you in any way we can here from WRMN. But of course, partnered up with Odyssey maybe in the future as well, because you'll be at the helm, and we'll see what works for the both of us as well. So
yeah, that'd be great.
That'll be awesome. Congratulations again.
I appreciate you guys. I'm not, people that don't know me, I'm not a guy. I'm pretty humble. I don't like when people compliment me. I don't like when people tell me I'm doing, because I don't. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't.
You don't know how to really respond to it. I'm in that same boat. Like whenever you get compliment, you're just like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
This is definitely one of those times though where I'm like, man, I am so proud of myself, of what I've accomplished in such a short time in this industry, and I don't take it lightly. And I've worked to take a quote from Tyson Bagent, I've grinded my absolute face off. So it's been a whirlwind over the last couple of years. There's been a lot of sacrifice. Last 8 years of my life have been an absolute roller coaster. A lot of loss with family, and a lot of sacrifice on my end as well. So to get to where I'm at now, man, I am extremely proud, and I appreciate you guys for acknowledging that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, don't grind your face all the way off because you may have a face for radio, but there is the video side of things both here at WRMN and at Odyssey. So we look forward to seeing you in all of your avenues and your work very soon. One last thing, one note we'll get into. Did you have Mamma Mia?
I don't have a Mamma Mia, but yesterday was my 5th year anniversary with the gal. So, Yessie, Yesenia, love you, baby girl. We celebrate yesterday. Absolutely awesome. We want 5, 10, 20, 30 million more years with you. Love you so much, sweetheart.
Awesome. Frank Nazar signed to an extension. We'll talk more about it next week as we roll into hockey season, but big news for Chicagoland area. Be sure to stick around for the truth about Chicago sports right here on AM 1410 WRMN. Thanks, Brandon. Woo!
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.